with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only one entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? to provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the vendors' arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by the Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the vendors' arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility. St. Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Wednesday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 21st, 20th. Oh boy, I'm back to my old ways, you know. That thing that come on me again, you know, Jaquan. It had given me a little break, but it have me again, you know.
Listen, I'll bowl on to you then.
All right, yeah, I should know. Just yesterday, I wished my niece, who I'm sure Miguel knows, Ashanti Lauren. Yeah, yesterday, the 19th of August was her birthday. Mm-hmm. So, you know, just using that as my marker, I should have known. I think we also had Auntie Emma's birthday as well. Yes. And I'm told that Bradley Felix.
Oh, so it's Bradley's birthday?
Yeah, yesterday. Was his birthday as well. So I'm going to have to apply to be his uncle formally. You know, and Emma is already auntie. So you don't try to uncle and auntie, you know.
well, if you actually adopt him or get to be his uncle, I hope you put it across your lap.
Give him a spine.
I didn't say flogger.
Me spanking a man who have a ponytail already. I mean, come on.
Belated birthday greetings to you, Bradley and auntie Emma.
Yes. All right, so, you know, welcome once again to our program, The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, and it's uncommon for us to have the size of the panel, the head table, you know, whatever we want to call it, but today we're out in full force. Terry Fenelon is back with us again, my co-host, and another co-host, Miguel Favre, has agreed to join us. I didn't know that we could have so many people seated here. Since I came over to the new premises of MBC, I've been feeling sorry that it is a little more constricted and restricted than the other side, but it looks good, you know, and it feels absolutely good. You know, people, I'm going to allow Terry and Miguel to do most of the talking, most of the handling. I know I say that all the time, but as we move forward, I want to bring in more people. And let me also say to Vanessa in New York at FCS Shipping, we did discuss about having you on today. But because of the way the week has been moving and, you know, the fact that we have such a packed agenda, you know, and so many things to unpack, that I decided let's probably push it back until Friday if you were able to. And that's because Terry on Fridays is unavailable to us. So even if Miguel is here, then we can still do the interview via telephone. That's St. Lucians, who have an enterprise, shipping enterprise in New York, and they're serving so many people, myself included. Discovered them when someone referred me to them, and I said, you know, I really have to. In fact, Vanessa was here for the Jazz Festival, and you know, I think she had a great time. Don't know when next she's going to be here, so just want to let you know, Vanessa, that we're still on with that. Okay, folks, I'm on the minor things that I want to say. I don't think Richard Frederick needs anybody to talk for him. You know, we know tomorrow it's only death that can prevent him from unleashing fire and brimstone and fireworks tomorrow on Can I Help You with Richard Frederick. And, you know, his helping people is a double-edged sword. He's going to help you in terms of things having to do with public facilities and even, you know, directly helping people with his hand. I know he's that kind of person. But he also helps you to set your head right when you're behaving like, you know, like your head debalanced and this kind of thing. And he's not one to pull his punches, especially if you go after him. He's not going to sit down and to take it. But let him speak for himself. However, I want to say something. I wonder if Mr. Alan Chasney, and too many times I think we waste time upon the secondary, irrelevant, supporting acts that Chasney gathers around himself to make it look like it's not coming from him. At the end of the day, all of this thing is orchestrated by Chasney.
He doesn't need answer.
You know? Yeah,
he doesn't need answer.
Chasney is the one who orchestrates and sets up all those things, the whole Martinez and so on. I'm not gonna go after Lisa Joseph, but that's me. That's personal. It's not really friendship. We worked at Radio St. Lucia together for a number of years. We didn't always agree on everything, but I found her to be a very conscientious, hardworking person. In fact, when I think she put in an application, or it was someone's idea when I became news director to bring her in, I had no hesitation in saying yes. You know why? I think I had taken a sabbatical from media and I worked with the brewery in the marketing and promotions thing. And one time we were having an event at Pigeon Island. I remember seeing her, and this was something about this young lady. She had no pride for her work. She has to go and cover something. Her tripod, her mic stand is on her shoulder. She carries it, you know.
That's
and
how old school
you know, seriously, she always had this kind of down-to-earthness about her when it comes to work. You know, she didn't have airs and pretenses about her, and that has always stuck with me. Like everybody else, me included, she had a little moody side about her, but I have a little moody side, especially when I don't sleep well. I'm tired, I'm a bit irritable and so on. So she can come in one day and then you get the feeling that she's on the little... But who knows, you know, what kind of things somebody's going in their private lives and so on a couple of occasions. And I'm just saying those things, not any business I'm putting out. Where she was living somewhere, you know, how do you call it, therefore, in that road back there, and boy... she was being burglarized. People were, you know, burglarizing. And when a young woman has to be facing those kind of things, you know, the threats and so on. I know what it is like to have your house broken, as people watching you as soon as you turn your back, they break into your house. And so she would come home and she would be a little somber and this kind of thing. But she was never, you know, a malicious, nasty kind of person to try to. So
Never been.
Sometimes in life we go through certain things and then we become a little beholden and vulnerable to whoever extends a hand, you know, to us, to help us in that particular time. I'm gathering, and I'm not saying that she's doing anything so that she can, you know, that she's got a hand out and that she's doing it because she's hungry, whatever. But Lisa seems to have gotten a job, and I was away at the time at the GIS, NTN, the government services. And when the contract came up for renewal 2-3 years ago, her contract was not renewed. But it was not only her. There's a young lady called Herma Dimac. And Herma Dimac is the daughter of, guess who? David Dimac. So if it was a political victimization thing, why would they not renew the contract of the daughter of David Dimac, a comrade of comrades in the struggle, political struggle, if the Labour Party, trade union struggle, you know, with the CSA, veteran agriculturist, and he was chief agricultural officer of St. Lucia. So while people thought it was political, I had to say, but Herma Dimac, you know, how can it be political? The Labour government, you know, it's obvious that they have to review certain things and so on. People may have their opinions about it. People got to do what they got to do to survive, or what they feel they have to do to survive. There's a saying in the Creole, ou savent sa ka bouille en canawi ou, moi savent sa ka bouille en chaudière moi. You know, there's a clay pot that we call the canawi. I don't know if there's an English equivalent of it, but it's a clay pot, very famous, you know, the kind of thing that when you cook your food on it, you take it off the fire, you can leave it there, it will continue boiling for at least half an hour, you know, this kind of thing afterwards, because the clay holds the heat. So you know what's boiling in your pot, or your saucepan. I know what's boiling in my clay pot, in my canawi. So I'm not going to say too much about that. People do what they have to do, or what they consider that they have to do to survive, etc., etc. So I'm not going to pass judgment on them. But he can't be a man, no matter who he is, no matter how much money he have, no matter if he's a government minister. For Richard Frederick to be on the receiving end of what he has been on the receiving end of, This is not weekly. This is day after day via lives and press conferences and press briefings and talk shows and political meetings. They in the man's skin about every little thing pertaining to his private life. Ex-girlfriend who has a habit, it seems, of not being able to accept breakups, going after him in a most down and dirty personal way and a whole lot of things that, that goes on. Now, I think Richard fired back recently where he said something that must have touched a particularly sensitive bone in particular people. One in particular, where he mentioned about, as the woman who's closest to you, what happened on a flight where she was terrified by the turbulence and she needed someone to give her a little embrace to soothe her and to calm her down. Tell her what happened and let her tell you whether I am the way that you say I am. Because that's in reference to suggestions that he's gay and that he's a homosexual or a bula or whatever. So he fired back on that. Now, I suspect that touched a particular nerve because he didn't only reference that. Ask also whether Ernest Hilaire, whether somebody knows a bit more on a personal level. And I suspect there is a renewed push to go after him because of that. I don't know whether anybody went. You call him Federica. I don't know whether somebody went and asked the woman, the woman who's reputedly closest to whoever, and tell her, is that true? I mean, woe unto the whole world. If that woman who's closest would have said, yes, it was true, it happened, even if just once. I'm not saying it did, but I suspect there's that renewed rage that is going on right there. But what do you expect? You're in a man's skin all the time. And like I said, I suspect it has a lot to do with Richard Frederick getting his visas, his US visas restored. It's a matter of we had that on you, we don't have it anymore, so now we have to make up for it. We have to come after you. And there's the innuendo, sometimes not so subtle, that every bit of crime and shooting and gangland violence we have, that somehow it's connected to Richard and Richard has something to do with it. It's like we have found a noose of innuendo that we can string around his neck, and all we need now is to pull it and to make it tighter and tighter. I'm not going to tell Richard how to do his business in terms of how he chooses to respond to things and so on. On the parliament, Richard is that kind of person. He's an engaging guy. You come at him. He came down below on the ground floor of the parliament and confronted the protesters and all of that. And when he did that with them, they wanted to ask him questions. He said he's not talking to them. He basically turned his back and he was speaking to Speaker Claudius Francis, who was not in the chair. So he was addressing him by his first name. That he all said this about me, I respond and so on. And I'm just wondering, I don't want to say too much. It may not be private, although I think when it's something to do with sexual and reproductive health, you talk about it. But Lisa did tell me that she's a cancer survivor. When I came back and I called her to express my support and my sympathy for her contract not being renewed, etc., etc., I never inquired. She spoke to me well, as if always spoken well, and Lisa told me that she is a cancer survivor. Now, I was stunned because to me, she looks and sounds so good. So whatever she has done, and Lisa is not the only one. I have had other friends, schoolmates who I've met who've told me, that they had cancer and they've survived. In fact, 2 women, Lisa being one of them, that they look good. Cancer is not a denigration. It's not a shame. It's not a put down for somebody that they had cancer. In fact, some people very proudly tell you that they had cancer and how they've beat it and how they've come better, or they're taking this treatment and so on. And I always feel encouraged by it. I always feel happy for them because I have seen people with cancer, and my goodness, it does quite a wreck job on some people. So I don't know how somebody referencing, I didn't even know I can't tell if she's still actively in chemo or whatever. All I know, someone who, whatever the cancer, I didn't ask her whether the cancer is to the south or to the north of her anatomy, whatever, she told me, and I feel very happy for her, especially afterwards when I saw Lisa on TV. I saw her doing the interviews with Martinez, and I think we may have run into each other no more than once or twice, if that much, and I find she looks good. And I continue to wish her well. I continue to wish her recovery. I don't want to see anything get worse or any relapse or whatever. If it's in remission, that it says so. If anybody she needs help and they can help her, then very good for her. Although I suspect the kind of person she is, she prefers to work. She prefers to earn whatever it is she needs, whatever. Lisa don't look sick. And even if she did look sick, cancer is not to me anything for me or for people to be ashamed of. If a woman has something to do with her privates, her sexual and reproductive thing, a gynecological thing to me. And which is why I don't like the cussing that I hear all over the place. It's always in your mother so and so, like there's a denigration about the woman's privates and so on, like it's a filthy thing that you turn up your nose or you hold your nose at. All of us came through that part, that we always cussing one another, your mother, the word that starts with C and so on. So that's all I can say. I have known that I didn't know she's actively going treatment. We did not discuss all of that and so on. I feel happy for her when I see her, how she looks and so on. I just want to say again, people do what they feel they have to do to get by in life, to survive. We may not agree with it. It doesn't mean that compassion, that we don't criticize, that we don't say what it is. But I don't know what is the great horror and terror about referring to somebody's chemo or anything of that kind, and for us to make it look like it is a gender-based, a sexualized denigration. I don't share that view. The final thing I want to say before, I said I'm handing over to the fellas. The final thing I want to say. Okay, good afternoon to my friend Lester, former co-worker, who says, I'm breaking up. I don't know.
The TV.
And another person says, yeah, you're breaking up bad. Okay, all right. Jaquan says that it's apparently only affecting TV, but the other platforms, which is Real FM Radio, 91.3 megahertz north, 91.5 south, and also Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming, that they are working absolutely down pat for the moment. So it's the TV that's giving some trouble, and of course I know our people, they'll continue working on it until they get to the bottom of it. Folks, politics is competitive. Politics is adversarial. I never expect it to be a case of clean hands and it's going in a nice, sanctimonious manner. Not even in churches that happen. A political party is not a church. Politics is not a religion. And even in religion, we have some of the most nasty internecine fights and so on. I understand that. When you hear me get up and talk about a preacher who's approved within his church to take the pulpit and so on, and beaming out a message, repetitive message, that, if you see you supporting the other side, then, heaven, the doors of heaven are closed to you. You can never have a problem with that, because then you are taking something which far exceeds the dimensions of politics, of party politics, and you are putting it before people that this is the criterion for entering heaven, that you have to be yellow, that you have to support this party, and if you support the other one, then my goodness, you're in hell already, and there's nothing that can work for you. This is the kind of thing I have a problem with. Likewise, while I understand and accept the adversarial nature of party politics, I just find the negative politicking. Yes, it is the silly season, as we call it. So silly, pappy show, ridiculous things, you're going to hear them. But I just find there is too much negativity in the UWP's approach to politics. The UWP never comes out to tell you, the government is messing up on this, and when we come in, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we are sure if we do that. Now, sometimes a promise, which is a comfort to a fool, as they say, that you're going to, within 90 days of your coming, you'll see if this crime thing is going to happen, and our housing development will be focused on those areas because the congestion in Wilton's Yard and we're going to widen it. We'll put roads to run through them and open them up and etc. You do this kind of thing. I just don't find I hear any of that from the UWP. It's always a negativity of wanting to go after Richard Frederick, a negativity of a denigration, of wanting to criticize, of wanting to show that they're doing, and it's always they're doing nothing. Not that what they're doing is not effective, they're always doing nothing. They're doing nothing about it. Chastney is especially good for that. And this negativity continues, like everything that the government undertakes. You have to downplay it, you have to poo-poo it, you have to say it's no good, you have to criticize it, but you have nothing better to offer in its place. And so Vanguard goes on vacation, which I think he was acting commissioner, and I believe in the first instance his appointment was for 1 year. So very soon the year will be up. So whatever leave he has accumulated, there is a certain time by which he must take it, whatever, until a determination is made whether he will be re-engaged. Ronald Phillip, a veteran A veteran who's deputy commissioner of police. And let me tell you something about Ronald Phillip. I don't know the guy too well, you know. I met him once in person. Maybe I met him other times in the Parliament lounge after they had a joint sitting, whatever, which I attended, you know, as a senator and so on. And I walked up from behind, I tapped him and I said, "Hi, Mr. Ronald Phillip, I'm just meeting you, so I just wanted to say hello." He answered, he said hello. He didn't smile, you know, a very serious face. And, you know, at the moment I said, wow, I wonder if I overextended myself there, because the guy don't look like a guy who's too much, you know. But the guy doesn't know me. He doesn't know me.
Yeah.
But on a couple of occasions during the tenure of Cressida Pelios, that Ronald Phillip acted as commissioner. I don't know, I was observing and I saw certain things in terms of the way he managed things, you know, the deployments of the police, the traffic, the situation on the roads, the response to crime. And I said, you see this guy? I don't know how good he is administratively, but I know operationally, when it comes to moving things on the ground game of the police, he's boss. The man comes, he has a shirt which is not a Razu shirt. He obviously was on his weekend, whatever off time he heard it, he came out to speak. That's not a time where it's about his grooming and going to over into the barber shop to get a quick. He comes and he responds and he speaks. And that's what I've been talking about, the responsiveness of the police communication. Yes, I know they have briefings, but when they have those situations, a senior official come out and speak. And that is why I liked it when the Freighter said, this is about gang, you know, against gang and so on. Because at least people now have a better idea. If you know people and you know they have some association with gang, or you suspect it because of where you're from, and you see them hovering around Derrick Walcott Square when they have an event, that gives you the chance not to do anything because you won't see the man do anything, but to dip out, you know, to move from there, to slide, to skip, you know, to get out of there as quickly as you can. So people are armed with some kind of information. But Ronald Phillip came and the man spoke. He was unscripted. He was just saying, okay, the police are going to respond and they're going to do this and all leave is cancelled and so on. They have a problem with that, with Vanguard being on leave. Like, that is the problem. Everything for the UWP is that is the cause of the problem. A police canine, you know, well, officer they call it, Tyson, you know, quite an interesting name, you know, happens to be found dead in suspicious circumstances. There's talk of suspected poisoning, investigation. It's like everything that happens is the death and the killing of Tyson that is causing all of this and so on. Meanwhile, the police are still doing drug busts. They're doing drug busts at the post office. They're doing drug busts at the customs. They're doing interdictions and interceptions all over the place. I'm not saying that Tyson's death is not an impediment, doesn't cause a problem. But don't say every problem now has become Tyson's death. Because there's one person you'll want to hang that noose around his neck again, the innuendo and so on. And I just find the UWP is just too negative. They don't seem to come forward with any solutions, with any plans, with any saying, well, we would do it differently. The CIP, this is what we would do differently if we're there. This is what is always like trying to damage and to destroy something. Always trying to create a story about St. Lucia that will play and have repercussions negative to the country out there in the international community about our visas and our this and our that and the other. It's like they do not mind messing up the country if that is what it will take to make themselves appear more appealing for re-election. Now, guys, I didn't realize I had taken so much of the time. What was here? So
I think we better take a break because I think there's we have a few technical hiccups. People are still calling, so maybe we can rectify that. By the time we're back, we should be all right.
All right. So what we're going to do is take the break now, and then when we come back, you probably won't see me in the frame anymore. I'll leave it to Terry and to Miguel to do their thing.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all-access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime, to your specifications. But the best part is, we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
What is the vision for the Vendors Arcade? To provide a world-class shopping environment where local goods and services can be provided and experienced by locals and visitors. Why is this redevelopment necessary? The renovations and expansions will revitalize the infrastructure and enhance the shopping experience for vendors, locals, and visitors. Who will be responsible for the Vendors Arcade? The arcade will continue to be operated and managed by the Castries Constituency Council, who will have full responsibility for the rental and maintenance of the space. How will construction of the Vendors Arcade be managed? A phased approach will be employed to minimize disruption to daily operations. After the completion of each phase, vendors will be relocated from the former arcade, and this will continue until completion of the new facility. St. Lucia Cruise Port, investing in people.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Too many of you there, and it is interfering with the sound. A message from Cornelia, the animator, Jacob. Who else? Well, yes, we've gotten so many messages, inundated with them practically, about the problems that you were having with the sound on the TV, freezing, and so many different issues that you reported. I think Jaquan indicated that it was being intensely attended to during the break, so it should be okay now. If anything, keep letting us know what exactly is going on. But good afternoon to you all, who, especially those of you who messaged that you were not hearing anything whatsoever. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Let me just read a message from someone who says, Shelton, the current debate on communion is not how it is received, it is how quickly one consumes it, especially these days, or since it is said that people use it for obia. I don't know how. Thus, Bradley Fulgens literally walking away with it before inserting into his mouth, considering how passionate Father Albert is about that, and the way he watched someone whom he thought was walking away with it, except that he was not. You know, I want to say again, all this thing about communion and obia and so on, these are distractions, you know. Let's not get ourselves carried away with that and anything of that kind and so on. You know, people have their intentions and their designs and their desires for obia and sorcery and all kinds of necromancy and going in cemetery and so on. Being in fear of those things, all it does is that it keeps your mind engaged so that you cannot focus upon the things that you need to do. As we would say in football, to beat the offside trap, you know, and not let yourself be suckered into a whole lot of nonsense. But anyway, like I said, Terry and Miguel are there, so I'll let them fight to decide who goes and what they deal with. Guys, take it away, please.
Good afternoon, viewers and listeners, and of course, it's good to be here with both of you for a change. It's been a while. Shelton, again, there's just two quick things I want to touch. And like I said this morning, and like you just said, I don't have to defend Richard Frederick. There's no need to. He can hold his own. But you made a comment earlier in your preamble regarding Shasney and his minions, deploying his minions, or not? How did you phrase them?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, those around him.
Yes.
These people are being pawns, Terry. And I wonder if they realize they're being pawns. Shasney is using them to fight his own personal beef with Richard and Ernest.
Yeah.
And you have them like mad fowls. I mean, Marcella, come on. Marcella, I met you in person. You tried to take my number. You wanted my ID card to see how many people in my household. And you were so nice. I mean, it actually almost changed my impression, sort of softened my impression of you as a political opponent in that sense. But then for you to be going and do these things and not expect backlash, and now you're playing victim like, oh, I say nothing, I do nothing, all of a sudden the man saying this and that about me. Stop it. Come on. Let's stop it. Now, I have a question for Alan Chasney, Guy Joseph, and the likes. You see all this thing that happened over the weekend there, that very bloody Saturday that we had there? I have a question for United Workers' Party. I would like to know whether certain people believed to be involved in the underworld prior to the 21 election, whether they were approached, and I'm talking about in the communities of Castries East and Castries Central, and whether they were approached to cause havoc in the city and in Castries East. I hope I'm saying it loud so you can hear me properly. I'm even getting closer to the mic. Whether they were approached to cause havoc in the city with gun violence, so as to make it look like first Marsha is unsafe under Philip J. Pierre, and Richard Frederick was the one causing all this flare up. I wouldn't fail to answer. I want Guy, Nancy, Alan to answer that question, and let's go from there, because I have a lot to say on that matter, and that's all I will say for now. Terry,
right. Yeah.
I think we have a GPH thing to handle, but we'll do it later.
Actually, let me piggyback on the Richard Frederick thing. He's a human being. He's attacked, and by now, Shelton, I think we all are aware that Cambridge Analytica and the strategy, as they said, they cannot attack the Prime Minister. He's too wholesome. You can't get him there. Baby is too likable. You understand what I'm saying? Auntie Emma, who could go after Auntie Emma? So the two people they can go after is the heavy roller. But the heavy roller doesn't take their money, he does. And Richard. And they were told that they must concentrate their attacks on Richard. And they must enlist the tsunami guy in that, because he has credibility. But Richard is a lawyer, and one thing lawyers know how to do is to put the question. So he put the question. I'll leave that there. Now, GPH, before I came on, legal counsel called me and he promised to brief me properly so that we can give a proper response. Because this bombshell, they always have a bombshell about this lease, because there are two agreements and stuff, and one you have to consult one on the other. Talking about we gave them GPH for $1. GPH has split SASPA. We are involved in profit sharing, etc. It is just like the halls of justice, After 12 years, a token of one, it will change hands.
Alan Chasney has proven time and time again that the relevant documents pertaining to those things, he does not read them.
Yes.
Alan Chasney is unaware of the police crime fighting plan, which is available for him to. Alan Chasney is unaware of so many things that the guy does, and so he comes and makes the sweeping statements.
Yes.
Can you imagine after the government has removed tax on feminine sanitary products and so on, that Marcella Johnson, a woman, a wife, a mother, is coming and is saying about how they have VAT on sanitary,
It's no accident,
but the host, well, he must have been breaks, Terry. The host should have known better.
But the host is probably a man, okay?
Yes,
so let's give him a little bit of.
But he should have known better.
But don't tell me a woman, who should know about those things and all, is coming and making a claim like that when this has been in the news so much.
Guys, it's no accident. It is no accident.
So Cambridge Analytica, and you see the sad thing is that there are people who don't know any better. They will listen, and you know what we say in our local parlance. They'll drink it. You understand? That is why we have to continue our efforts to educate and to put it out there. And I'm so happy, that we are in Creole, etc. Yadi and Jaim doing their stuff. Jaim was very good this morning in the absence of Yadi, doing the stuff and putting it out there. And our folks, stop saying that, the government PR is bad. We're doing all we can. We have, do your part too. So we circulate. For example, yesterday we circulated and we put out one of the things from Massey, where the prices went down. We put that in the chat groups. Circulate that. Show that to your friends. You understand? Play your part. Because we cannot do it all. We are trying. Honestly, we are trying. But when you have the information and only give you the information, you must see yourself as part of government. And that's part of the education process too. To showing your friends and I met people today, as I was just telling the panel. I came out early today because I had to get some meds for my mom. And for those people who say there are no meds in the government pharmacy, that's not true.
Nonsense.
That is a blatant lie. You understand? I had to get some at the private pharmacy, yes, but the prescriptions were filled and have been filled for a long time now at the government dispensaries. That we used to use that word before dispensaries, government pharmacy.
Yeah.
You understand? So the blatant lie, they don't have these on the ça pas vrai. What Philip JP has done, he has pumped in millions of dollars so that at least the payables that they had, which was strangling them, they are freed up now. So there's a lot of medication. And I have friends who are pharmacists in government service, and they tell you, Mr. Fun, no, the pharmacists. So she was able to get her meds, but I didn't have to go to the private pharmacy to get something. So I left early to ensure that my mom is comfortable, she had what she needed, etc., etc. So let's dispense with that. All right, so we're doing the education. So don't always say, that they don't have that. Now, yesterday, Shelton, and I like to follow.
It is what it is.
Well, you may as well call me Silver Fox. That's my name. When I go by Jamari for lunch, everybody knows me as Silver Fox. That's on my lunch thing. Silver Fox, meal is ready. Anyway, the house is always interesting, Shelton. And when we have to come to real issues and I have to miss portions of the house debate, man, Saka Fema Khati man, yeah. Two things came out yesterday. One I will just deal with, and another one. Danny Butcher, don't worry. Tomorrow is your day. I keep saying that. Shelton, when I tell you this guy, I don't look on his name. This reckless guy, because that's what he is. Titus, that's what he is. He's reckless.
Reckless reprobate.
I mean, the Prime Minister is summing up and stuff. And we come into the security detail. And this guy stands up because he's entitled. Petulant, arrogant man-child. And he says, well, he has had his security detail for 10 years and it was just taken, and he wants this particular security. And if he doesn't get this particular security detail, he doesn't want it.
He should resign then.
I hope he doesn't have one now. This guy wants to dictate
he wants to
the police.
He wants to say, I want this
one
officer and
this one. And the Prime Minister told him, but when I was leader of the opposition, I had a security deal. I became Prime Minister. They took him away and they sent somebody else. That's life. This is professional people at work. You are the leader of the opposition. You want to dictate to the Prime Minister. Well, the Prime Minister doesn't get involved in that. You want to dictate to special branch and the commissioner who your security detail should be.
But Terry,
my God,
Terry, come on. all while his wife, that the Flobos like to call the First Lady, which doesn't exist.
Yes.
Well, the First Lady is a Governor General, right?
Not at all. That office does not exist.
It doesn't exist. Exactly. So all the time his wife was giving the police balls.
Well, no. She was holding balls for the police.
Well, whichever way you want to put it, balls. There were balls all over the place, right? And yellow too. Well, I've never seen yellow balls before. But anyway. And giving them refurbished televisions, passing off as in their room, in their thing.
I know that for a fact.
Remember what the man used to say to the media in his addresses? My police force. Yeah. My police force. His white, I call him the white honorable. Yeah. Because one said he was the rightful owner of St. Lucia.
Yes, my police
it's
force.
His. So how can we not expect him to act in that petulant manner?
Well, if you see, you'll bow to this guy and acquiesce to his. I put it fine anyway.
But his security detail is the one that's also unprofessional.
I don't even call him name.
But sending long voice notes about
Richard. The principle of the thing. The principle of the matter. You are the leader of the opposition. A security detail is assigned to you. You have no say in the matter. Keep your mouth shut and go do your business. You cannot dictate to the state who on the police force. Who your security detail? You are out of order.
And if you don't like it, you can take your detail and go.
Pay for your own security.
Give us a by-election, Miku.
Nonsense in this country. You understand? Who are you? And the next thing now, I want you to put up a number for me. The little thing I put it to debt to GDP.
Oh yes.
I want, if you know what this number is, you see that, Shelton, at some point you have to connect the dots. And a lot of things are now, Tommy! A lot of things are making sense to me now. You understand, Shelton? Just put up that graphic there. You know, Shelton, you'll see it in a while. It will shock you. I am connecting the dots now. When this guy in 2017, don't forget he came into office in 2016. By 2017, advised by Tommy, what's his name? Descat. I almost said DeFreitas, I don't know why.
DeFreitas.
Tommy Descat. By 2017, this one was saying the country is broke. Don't forget COVID was a thing in 2020.
2020.
And by 2020, 2 weeks after March, well, that's when he is coming out to tell us not only is the country broke, but it is so bad, COVID made it worse. Now, Shelton, I can begin to understand. Why? Look at the graphic. Jacqueline, it's up. It's coming up there. It's a little graphic. And I want you folks to understand. And Dr. Carlton Augustine, if you're listening, maybe you could call to explain that. Because I'm not an economist. I mean, I did 1 or 2 courses, but I ain't bright. And the whiskey, fried the brains.
I also sent Jaquan something because we will be touching the GPH a little later. Yeah.
So this figure you see on the screen is there already? 102% debt to GDP ratio. I was stunned. Shelton, you know what that is? I was stunned. Remember, we read an article recently about how the Prime Minister has been praised for his prudent management of the debt. And how he took us from the precipice, almost going down into the abyss. And he has rescued St. Lucia. But yesterday, the facts came out. And I'll get it for tomorrow before we go into Danny. And we will lay it out that the true figure, the true debt of St. Lucia was 102% debt to GDP ratio. It means that for every $1 we got, we had to spend it servicing that. And we also had to go and borrow another 2 cents on that. You understand?
Essentially, we bankrupt.
Well, you can't bankrupt a country.
You can't bankrupt a country.
But we couldn't. That is why he was asking civil servants. Go on, Stormy. You're the economist behind that. You're talking about your MAPP. You're not any MAPP. You're Lapo, fella. 102%. Jacqueline is fighting in the graphic there because I wanted you to see that. Sometimes when you see things, it stays in your head. It means that we were headed into Greece territory. Remember when Greece had all these problems, things collapsing and loans and more collapse and things, and it had to take. They were almost 140 or 150% debt to GDP ratio or more than that. That is why we were heading under this reckless guy. Well, reckless fella. The other guy is reckless too, with his words. And you see, 102%. And the figures were showing 90 something. But the deputy finance minister brought it home to us and says, no, the contingent liabilities had to be added. And he gave so he called me. I'll get it properly tomorrow, so I'll explain it better. My thing taking what? Jokwan, my thing in there. Contingent liabilities means all the things they took a lot of Shimer credit. They took a lot of things on credit to pay in 5 years' time. So these were not reflected on the books. Contingent liabilities. But the official says no. The international people said no. All of these have to be included because it will affect your financial situation. You understand, people? So when all of that was added to the debt stock, we were in trouble. 102. That means we were spending. We had to spend more than we were getting. That is why this guy looking all disheveled and stuff. See, the country is broke.
Terry, that's the same
man. We
have
no more money. You understand?
Terry Shelton, that's the same man. When they cancel the IFC, the IFC obligation for the airport, the PPP for the airport, that's the same man who said that Slasper taking the loan does not add to our national debt.
What kind of economist is that?
a mixed up one.
But if I go and take a loan at courts, courts giving loans, right?
Yes.
I heard that.
Yep.
Or something.
Ready cash is
ready cash.
And
this one, well, I don't want to be calling this fella. But when you go there and take the loan and stuff, even if you have your normal loan with Republic Bank or whatever it is, well, that's my bank. That's what I call it. Sorry. Or my credit union. That is part of my debt stock. I have to service it. So this man says when you take loans and things, I'm magic. Let me tell you, a contingent liability is defined as an obligation relating to a past transaction or event that may be payable in the future. So he was hiding that from the books. But right now, Honorable Philip JP has to be paying all the shime credit he took, All the shime he took on credit. These loans are now coming in for payment. And we have to be paying that,
What could have well added to that would have been Peugeot. And I hope Peugeot is not on that list of contingent liabilities.
So we will know. You understand? We will know. A tale of two reckless fella. So the man took us, and I want you to understand why this is so egregious. When these guys came, after Kenny Anthony did the hard work, these guys benefited from a rebasing of the economy. I keep stressing that. By the stroke of a pen, the economy was enlarged, and so the debt to GDP went down further, giving them breathing space to borrow. And they borrowed up to the kazoo, to the point now our debt to GDP went up to 102%. My gosh. And this guy wants to come back. And that is what Titus knows, But Titus, I tell you, your strategy is bad. We will not vote for you in Babono. Well, I don't vote in Babono. But they will not vote for you there because you are selfish. You are telling the people, help you to help yourself. Vote for me so that I can come and fight Shasne. That is not noble. You're supposed to enter politics to help people, but you are entering politics to help yourself. Help me so I can tell the people, help you so you could help yourself to leadership. That is your thing. And then you say, well, Philip is a nice guy. He'll give me money for CDP to do things in the community. He's not working so, boy.
I wonder if you have a convention if the election is not.
No, and Shasne, keep your eye on it. Because men don't like you. He has said so. He has categorized you properly. You are reckless and he's coming to overthrow you. Now, personally, I don't do overthrow. Take you in your side. If Titus was smart, he'd have collect fellas like-minded like him and let the old flabos follow you. Because what exists there now, sa pa flabo.
Yep. And Shelton and Terry. With that said, Titus, I just don't understand. Will there be a so Alan Shasta is
convention?
A convention.
That's a side, guys.
The party has not had a convention since,
Yeah, that's a side.
And if Titus really wanted to help the country, as he says, and he doesn't like Alan Shasta, we know that.
Yes.
Why doesn't he come out public and challenge the leadership? Say you don't think Alan is the good for the party. If you really think about the people, and you want to be leader of the party, come out there and say it.
Gosh, yeah.
Another man. Sorry, as you continue, Terry. Before we continue, another man. Why he's not a candidate anymore? Who has said openly he doesn't like Shasta to the point that he had told somebody that if he meets him in a dark alley, he'll knock him out and he might do worse. Spider one tooth.
Mate, yeah, that's all.
Right now. So you see how hungry and desperate they are.
He's a masseuse, so he ain't getting work.
So he's massaging Alan Shasta.
Well, yeah, he's massaging Alan Shasta's ego. He's a masseuse.
All right.
I know what masseuse is, but that's what he is. They're feminine fella, always, drunk and thing. Yeah, masseuse. So he's massaging Alan's, ego, so he can get paid and thing. But and it's Friday fun is he's not a comedian. Comedians are bright fellas. But he always imagine himself on the Sunday fun is. I mean, come on. I mean, Spider. So 102%. This reckless guy had. Wow. This one was sinking the country fast.
Yeah, so you're living above your means. Above your means.
Miguel, you're working for $4,000 and your monthly expense is $4,500.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying there.
Yep.
So I'm working for $100, but I have to pay $102 every month.
And there wasn't even any attempt while in government to even juggle. If your personal finances, you try and juggle. Okay, maybe this month I will try and do this and do this. And at the end of the day, no, it just wasn't. He was just spending money on things that had no bearing positively on the country's development.
You're earning $100, but you have to spend $102 every month. So you see the problem you're in. So he told civil servants, and Tommy, and don't forget people, Castro South, Tommy was the chief advisor. So si nous mettons monsieur là, c'est payer à fini, because mate is not good. He's not good. And then a man who was a PS in commerce doesn't know the difference between VAT, zero rated, and
we have a minute left, Terry. But when we come back, before we take the calls, we want to touch a quick comparison between DSH and GPH.
Yes.
But I also want, before it goes away, based on what I last said about the elements that were approached within Castries Central, and Rush, that question is for you as well. I forgot to mention that question is for you because you're from Central, you want to run there. You should know who was approached and what they said. Why they rejected the people from within the ranks of the United Workers' Party who approached them to cause violence within the city, to cause havoc. So it will be no surprise if what is happening now is orchestrated by the United Workers' Party. It will not surprise me in the least bit. But there's more to come on that. Film at 11. We'll take the break, Jaquan, and we'll deal with that.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Don't go away.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell V4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
St. Lucia, are you ready to tease your way to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 in Dominica? NBC and Real FM is giving one lucky fan the ultimate getaway, an all-expense-paid trip to the Nature Island for 3 nights of non-stop rhythm, culture, and unforgettable vibes. Here's how to enter. Step 1, follow us on Instagram at Real FM Official. 2, post a video up to 90 seconds long telling us why you deserve to be at the World Creole Music Festival 2025. Be bold, be creative, and show your passion for Creole music and culture. Step 3, tag us and send a collaboration invite to at Real FM Official so your video appears on both our pages. Step 4, get those likes up. The video with the most likes by October 10th wins the prize: round-trip airfare, comfy accommodation, and all access pass to the World Creole Music Festival 2025 to enjoy Dominica to the fullest. But hurry, the contest runs from August 11th to October 10th, and the winner will be announced on October 11th. This opportunity is open to all St. Lucians aged 21 and over. Only 1 entry per person, so make it count. Don't just dream about the festival. Tease your way there, only with NBC and Real FM.
Powered by Discover Dominica.
Gotta go with you. I gotta go with you. I gotta go with you.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Issues powered by Blue Waters is on this Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2025. I'm Shelton Daniel, along with Miguel Fevrier and Terry Fenelon. And I think before the break, they promised that they were going to, deal with something having to do with Global Port Holdings, GPH, which Alan Chastney has been making all kinds of erroneous statements about, even when it is corrected, even when there is a document outlining the agreement and all of that, he still comes back and says that we have sold our ports and we have sold them for a song, if not less than that, for $1, for nothing. He changes all the time, But anyway, Miguel will start us off.
Oh, yes. So apparently our ports were sold for $1, I believe it was, Terry Shelton, according to his White Honorable, Reckless, Petulant. But let's just, on screen, we have some comparisons between what obtains with GPH and what still obtains with DSH, because we haven't been able to get out of that agreement, have we? And apparently Alan Chastney is gloating on what he believes to be the fact that he will sue, Theo Aking will sue St. Lucia. But anyway, DSH versus GPH agreements, and let's clear the air here briefly, but you will see and hear more about it in coming days. Number 1, ownership and control. Under the GPH agreement, St. Lucia retains full ownership of its ports. Under DSH, vast amounts of public land were handed over to a foreign investor, quote-unquote investor, with minimal local input or accountability, 1,000 acres. 2, transparency and terms. The GPH agreement is a concession agreement, not a sale. Operations are leased, not lost. DSH involved long-term leases up to 99 years. You might as well give it away.
That's this.
And exclusive control by a foreign developer. 3, economic benefit to locals. GPH commits to increasing cruise arrivals, local business opportunities, and port improvements. DSH, on the other hand, offered limited benefits for St. Lucians with few binding commitments for local jobs or local ownership. Remember the lost leader and the boys from VA4 who were only good for grooming horses and picking up their shit. Excuse my language. 4, government oversight. With GPH, government maintains regulatory power and monitors performance. With DSH, the investor, quote unquote again, was calling the shots. even deciding on which locals could access parts of VA4. 5. Public interest comes first. GPH supports infrastructure that belongs to the people. DSH was a land-centric scheme that risked turning part of St. Lucia into a private city-state and, according to renderings, Little Dubai. 6. No land giveaway with GPH. Not 1 inch of land was sold under the GPH agreement, but with DSH, the investor was granted hundreds of acres of our most valuable land. Not to mention, he opened a radiator business competing with my partner, the late Mr. Dembo. Yeah. He got land, some prime land on his own name at court. Very concessionary rates.
Yeah.
Right? And number 7, duration and exit strategy. DSH. Listen, DSH. Long-term lease up to 99 years with minimal oversight. GPH, 30-year concession, renewable only by agreement, with ownership always retained by the state. Thank you very much.
All right.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. 758-487-9849. That is the mobile number on which you can call us via WhatsApp, 487-9849. And you can also use the landline, 4533-911. We are taking your calls going until 2 o'clock, so make the most and the best of it. 487-9849 and 4533-911. You can also post text messages, WhatsApp text messages, by going to either of these two websites, realfmofficial.com, realfmofficial.com, or mbcslu.com, and you'll find the messaging link for WhatsApp messages that will get in real time. We have our first caller, I think. So, good afternoon. Welcome to our program. Hello.
Hey, good day.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would think he made reference to the Diamond Mall as well. When he was talking about GPH, how it was a lease versus conjoined with a development agreement. So I'm saying, but the Diamond Mall is not a development agreement. The Diamond Mall is a quid pro quo.
Yep.
The Diamond Mall was actually given to the owner of Diamond Mall. You understand? Because at one time he said the bottom floor was leased for $14.5 million. Right? It was not sold, it was leased for $14.5. He only sold the bottom floor for $14.5 million. Then he entered an agreement with the guy, a development agreement with the guy, for the same $14.5 million to retrofit the building. So that means we get a dump center.
But Corey, also forgetting, he said that the floor had its own block and parcel number.
That's right. That's
Try
right.
to reference the condo, I think the Condominiums Act.
Now remember, he said there was no sale.
Yes.
But actually there is a deed of sale for a property.
Yes.
And you also heard the Honorable Mr. Frederick said that at court or in court, he also said that he sold the Diamond for $27 million. You understand? So which one is the actual truth? The real truth, the sad truth, or sadness?
Or what we want it to be. It's what you believe it to be.
Now, the question is, if you sell for $27 million, where is the money? Where is that money? Where did that money go to?
We have
but
some new
as you mentioned a while ago, Miguel,
Sorry?
that part journal letter money, the government need to find out if any monies were disbursed to those guys because of that letter.
All right.
They have to write to the banking institution to find out if any monies were disbursed to those guys. And if any monies were disbursed to those guys, these guys ought to be arrested forthwith. Okay?
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Thank you.
Brad. Thank you very much. Boy, someone says that I should read that. I should read that in Creole. I'll leave that to you, gentlemen, at some point tomorrow.
we have another call on.
Sorry, your future presentations.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead. Hello? Caller, go ahead.
Don't type the line.
Caller, are you there? All right, are you there, caller? All right, let's hang up that one. Take another one. 487-9849 and 4533-911. Gentlemen, we seem to have a little pause, although a call is coming in
now.
I
Yes.
don't know if you all can slip in a 2-second comment. It's up to you.
No, go ahead. We take the call.
Take the call.
All right. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, brother.
Earlier on, one of you said that Alan Shastney doesn't read the documents. Gentlemen, I beg to differ.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Shastney reads the documents. Alan Shastney deliberately sets out to mislead, mamagai, distort, misinform, disinform. I don't believe Alan Shastney doesn't read those
Then
documents.
that means he's extremely stupid or is extremely arrogant to read a document that he should know.
But that is the nature of the man.
So many other people would have read, who know, who co-authored the document, who had input, and then to come and to misquote it or this and to know you will be taken apart.
He's disrespectful.
That is the nature of the man. That is why several years ago he spoke of this 43%. The man believes that most, if not all of us, are dumb. And he can come with his accented bravado and run roughshod over us because we have very little, if any, intelligence.
Well, it happened in 2016, eh?
Well,
so we have no defense, eh?
well, the thing is, look, if people wanted to prove to Alan Shastney that they were part of the 43%, well, okay, so be it. They did it. But the thing is, that is how I believe, based on his actions, his words, that is what he believes, that he can mamagai us, fool us into believing anything he says, because remember, he said the truth is what you believe it to be. So he attempts to plant those things into the heads of St. Lucians. But the thing is, I think Miguel did a good job there in terms of showing what the GPH is and what the DHS was. Because you see, what he tried to do in the House yesterday was try to equate the GPH with DSH, because he has been getting so much pressure even now for that DSH deal that he gave to Theo Aking, that he now believes he has something in the GPH to equate with DSH. But that will not hold, because the Prime Minister did some explanation. Ernest explained it. Even Richard Frederick explained it. And again, with his false bravado, he said, I have the document. And they gave him the time to go and get the document. And when he returns, he tries to focus on the $1 per year agreement written into the agreement. But I mean, for crying out loud, with the GPH, all the lands, the ports and everything, ownership of those are retained by the state. With the DSH, those things were practically handed over, the lands were practically handed over to Theo Aking. The investor GPH is spending tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of developing the ports. And remember, it's only for cruise tourism. Only for cruise tourism. The hundreds of millions. So what? You think the government, based on that, and the government is not spending a cent, because quite apart from the development, the GPH also has to spend millions of dollars in terms of maintaining what it builds. You think the guys are going to now ask GPH, in addition to all of that, to give us millions of dollars in rent? The guys decided to put a token amount in terms of the rent, $1 per year. But GPH is spending hundreds of millions of dollars, and all it gets, and what it has, is a concessionaire agreement. In terms of for the cruise tourism, whatever you decide you're going to charge the tourists, we get a share of that, amounting to tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars over this 30-year period. In your case with DSH, we now have, the government now has a testy time in terms of trying to resolve our heritage, the lands in Viewfort, getting those lands back from DSH. But you want to equate, have this kind of false equivalency and say, well, look, the GBH is just like the DSH. No, wrong, false, not true. You're a liar. Go back with that. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
You know what's interesting? What was the DSH thing marketed as a $2.6 billion investment?
$2 billion.
And what's the value of the of GPH? Not even half of that. Not even a quarter of that.
Yeah.
Right? Yet.
We have two callers waiting. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Go ahead.
Let me tell you, anytime I hear DSH, it rubs me wrongly. I saw that man in Parliament yesterday and his behavior and his attitude, and I was like, hello. Y'all say he can read. He cannot read. He can probably see words and letters, but he cannot read and he cannot comprehend, and he can call us 43% as all he wants. He cannot read. He's just a mischievous, wicked white man. He called himself white. He called himself white. The difference between DSH and GPH, the Fushans have not even begun to understand what they're in. There are people who are on the lands that they own. They paid mortgages for, and it is not theirs now because of that DSH deal. There are people who have land and house, and it does not belong to them because of that DSH deal. That is never the case with GPH. We are benefiting from GPH, but we have lost a lot of land, a lot of property, and even pitch access, seafront, beachfront, we have lost because of DSH. So when Alan Shaftney comes and stands in Parliament and wants to behave like he is the know-all guru on everything, we know he lied. Even though he don't know he lying, we know he lied. Okay? And we will never, ever put him back to do to us 1,000,000 times over what he has done to us between 2016 and 2021. The choice is clear. Clear, clear, clear.
PIP.
Mr. Pierre is there. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you very much. Do we have any other callers on the line? All right. Yes, we have someone else waiting. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Sheldon, Terry, and Miguel. Good afternoon to you three.
Good afternoon.
Terry, you know who's that? I just want to say, as a former police officer, I am happy that the Prime Minister put Chasney in his place as it relates to his personal security. I can speak to that because, gentlemen, after Corporal Marcus, now deceased, was Sir John Compton's driver and security, I, as a corporal, then corporal, was transferred to drive the former Prime Minister, which is Sir John. When Sir John left politics, I was then went into transition to be with the next Prime Minister, which was Von Lewis. When Dr. Kenny Anthony won the elections, I was his driver until he lost the elections. I say this to say that nonsense that Alan Chasney is saying, that it is his security. The Prime Minister couldn't have been more right when he said the commissioner of police is the one determining, the commissioner of police and the head of special branch, who would determine who they would use as his security detail and his driver. So no police officer has a right to say, well, this is where I'm going to work, or the prime minister has no right to say this. He can request. However, it is left to the commissioner of police and the head of special branch. Right? Just, gentlemen, Shafney said one thing which stuck with me from the day he said it. And everything that he says revolves around this one thing that he said. The truth is what you want the truth to be.
Yes, I.
The truth is what you want the truth to be. And therefore, Shasney will say anything that literally stems from lies. But to him, it is the truth, and he wants people to believe. The more he says it, some people, the 43%ers, take it as gospel truth. But the truth remains the truth, not the truth as to what you think or want the truth to be. Gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we probably can take two more calls if we have them coming, but we have someone else on the line. Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
I don't know if you're observant, but you notice Kakadlo taking shots in the house when he turned and he saw Mr. Jackson there.
Oh, okay. Well, he's staring down the gun barrel of certain defeat. I can tell you that he's not surviving this time.
And my good friend Kakal, I understood he's trading bear for curry. Yes.
Kakal lacking.
He's going to do a playing field in Grace. But I'm saying to myself, but there is already a playing field in Grace. So what's the need? I mean, these guys are so desperate, man. I honestly, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But I'm very, yes, I expected better from Kaka joining that side. But then again, that's his choice. So, okay, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much.
Just on the point the last caller made about the special branch and the prime minister and the commissioner being the ones to make. Listen, there's a reason Alan would act that way, because when certain ministers had their jabals in special branch, right? When certain ministers had their jabals in special branch, and they were the ones who gave instructions to go and arrest me, and while we're in the vehicle, they're on the phone with people in special branch, and then information, and then Shalry himself is right there in custody streets, and he's on the phone with the star and giving them all the information while I'm right there. All right. So when Alan Shastney talks about his police and he wants his security detail, he knows what he's talking about, because they utilized the state apparatus, which is the police force, our security force in St. Lucia, to suit their own personal agenda. You had a call, Chekwan?
I know. I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yes, Miguel came in. There was a little bolom in the TV, so some persons still having difficulty on the TV.
Wrong bowler, wrong favorite, wrong favorite.
You all have no cause for complaint. I got the worst of it.
Wrong favorite.
It was during my preamble that 99% of people heard nothing that I said. So when I give you all actually the good part, of it all. Anyway, gentlemen, I think we had a great program today. I hope we can do this more often now that we know we can be accommodated in it, so that we can the power of three is always better than
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Josie Ghost.
No Josie Ghost.
So that we can actually give people the benefit of greater resource and people who can have idea, and I think it helps the interaction as well. Thank you so very much, Jaquan, for another great job at the controls and with the calls. We had some technical issues today, but that didn't prevent things from working out. So let's look forward to tomorrow, same time. All things equal, God willing, from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM simulcasting on NBC television and coming to you also on Facebook Live and YouTube live streaming. Until then, on behalf of my co-hosts today, Miguel Fevrier and Terry Fenelon, this is Shelton Daniel signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
It is well known.
The winning numbers for the midday draw of Wednesday, 20th August 2025 were Double Daily Grand 5, 8, 17, 18, Big 4, 6, 8, 1, 6. One is 2x. Pick 2, 2, 3. The Pick 2 multi-x ball drawn is 3x. One off. 2, 4, 2. Lucky 3, 6, 4, 0. The lucky free multi-x ball drawn is FB.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts.